Coherence begins with the absence of effort. It is a complete release of the vigilant self, constantly adjusting to maintain peace. It emerges naturally when we let go of techniques, disciplines, meditation practices, alignments, and energy balances. True coherence reveals itself when nothing in you organizes around protection, when the subtle structure of separation dissolves through its own irrelevance. What we have typically called peace is merely management, temporary relief, the nervous system shifting between patterned loops, the mind grasping something to hold on to, whether breath or mantra or feeling or vision. Beneath this apparent stillness, the structure of separation still moves quietly, shaping how experience is held, maintaining the subtle boundary between self and world. Consider the difference. You might regulate yourself, deepen your practices through countless repetitions. Yet if your body still absorbs without releasing in real time, you remain in survival rather than coherence, navigating existence instead of being lived by it. Like a musician who has practiced scales for decades but still tenses before playing, the very effort to maintain peace becomes another form of contraction. Even the subtlest self-reference creates distortion. Even the faintest echo of, "I am doing it right," generates interference. Your body knows when you're still trying, still subtly managing. Tissues tighten imperceptibly, eyes narrow, breath shortens by fractions, awareness contracts. Without conscious recognition, you begin defending against life, simply because a part of you tries to stay open, and in that very effort closes to what is. True openness exists without striving. It surrenders to life itself, supported by the same intelligence that keeps planets in orbit and cells dividing in perfect pattern. Living in coherence means the body requires no instructions. The physical form self-adjusts without conscious intervention. The system recalibrates seamlessly with the environment moment by moment. The energetic system receives and releases simultaneously without any effort or sometimes with minimal input. The mind, freed from spinning stories to explain or fix identity, becomes like a lake, reflecting what passes over it, creating no ripples or distortions. The body transforms when coherence establishes itself. It becomes unburdened in ways technique cannot manufacture. Previous healing sessions may have brought temporary release, but coherence offers something more fundamental. The absence of contraction itself, the absence of bracing against what might come, the absence of a body shielding against the world it receives. This absence becomes your embodiment's foundation, changing everything, how you feel and how your body relates to its surroundings. Consider how you might have once sat in a chair, subtle tension in the shoulders, slight bracing in the lower back, a barely perceptible holding in the jaw. In coherence, the body rests completely, settled by gravity, supported without effort. The musculature stops compensating for old wounds or subtle fears. Tension you assumed essential to being alive between shoulder blades in your jaw, behind knees, along the spine, gradually vanishes, as if realizing its vigilance was never truly necessary. Breath deepens without direction. Organs shift their communication patterns. Digestion, sleep, and immune function reorient around the absence of held charge and chronic vigilance. This transformation happens because your body organizes itself around wholeness rather than fragmentation, releasing the subtle effort of maintaining a coherent self against life's flow. Your system finds a slower, quieter rhythm. It responds without spikes of hypervigilance or collapse into numbing withdrawal, remaining available, aware, responsive, without urgency or overreaction. You may still startle at unexpected events, still express the full range of human emotion, but responses emerge clean and complete, lingering no longer than necessary. Feel this in your own body. A deep exhale that reaches the bottom of your lungs without effort. The shoulders softening away from the ears without instruction. The jaw releasing tension you did not know you were holding. This is what your system remembers when no longer maintaining vigilance. Living this way feels strange at first. You move through the world speaking and interacting with others, yet nothing adheres to you. Experience leaves no residue in your tissues. You carry nothing forward, resolve nothing later, trace nothing back through memory searching for closure. You inhabit your body more fully than ever before, simply present without the friction of resistance or the subtle distortion of preference. Imagine walking through a crowded market. In the past, you might have tensed against the noise, filtered out distractions, or maintained a subtle vigilance. In coherence, everything enters freely. The vendor's call, a child's laughter, the scent of spices, moving through you completely, leaving no trace. Nothing is rejected, nothing is held, nothing is managed. This state lacks excitement or profundity, nothing you will want to share with others because no you remains to be impressed by it. No measurement of progress exists, no reflection seeking validation. Only the gentle, uninterrupted rhythm of being itself, unfolding naturally without commentary. Coherence represents your original function before identity began shaping it into something it was never meant to be. Before you needed to understand yourself or heal yourself or become something more. Before you became someone who healed, someone who taught, someone who held space, someone who carried pain, you existed complete and unbroken. Coherence has always been here, merely overlaid with effort and expectation and the weight of needing to become worthy of your own existence. You gradually notice your disinterest in tracking your state, watching your reactions, checking your alignment, staying grounded, or wondering how others perceive you. These questions simply disappear from the mind, and without them, a strange spaciousness opens. It is neither silence nor emptiness, but the simple absence of inner commentary, the background noise of self-reference finally fallen quiet. Breath, warmth, weightlessness remain as the baseline of your living field, the natural condition where nothing interferes. You inhabit your life more intimately than ever before. Yet, friction between your being and environment dissolves because the structure that once interpreted input as personal has dissolved into open awareness. You move through your days without building identity, repeating patterns, or seeking resolution through processing. Coherence needs no closure because it creates no openings, requires sealing. It asks only the absence of interference, the cessation of subtle effort to be someone having an experience. The subtle atmosphere around and through your body transforms. What once held dense residue, unprocessed experience, and emotional history becomes light and translucent. This field no longer buffers against the world, but extends perception itself. You need not spend energy filtering the environment or maintaining boundaries. You absorb nothing that is not yours to carry, having no need for shielding when nothing adheres. Imagine sitting by water at sunset, feeling the day's last warmth on your skin. In the past, this might have been a moment you tried to capture, to hold onto, creating a subtle tension even in the beauty. In coherence, the sunset simply happens, the changing light, the cooling air, the water's reflection, moving through you without leaving residue, complete in its momentary perfection. Your being regains its deepest intelligence, adaptive, fluid, available to each moment's requirements. Energy flows differently through this system. Sensation exists free from threat interpretation. Emotion arises without flooding the mind with stories. You inhabit the actual moment instead of collapsing into memory or extending yourself into the future. Thought itself changes in quality and origin, breaking free from familiar patterns, no longer emerging from me and my story. Thinking becomes simple and functional, arising when needed, falling silent when not. Your body rests in the spaces between thoughts without filling them with more content. The mind quiets naturally because unprocessed experience no longer demands commentary or meaning-making. Insights arrive like the breath, speaking, then fading into silence without residue. The mind becomes just one dimension of your system, neither overseer nor interpreter, simply another quiet companion alongside heartbeat, breath, and awareness itself. Spiritual performance ends. The need for life to feel a certain way or meet spiritual criteria disappears. Alignment emerges naturally without vigilance when nothing distorts your body's native intelligence and natural coherence with life itself. You move through experience without leaving your imprint in every interaction. This does not diminish your presence or significance. You remain active, vocal, and effective. You simply stop stamping your identity into every moment as a way of claiming or defending against it. Looking backward to verify spiritual progress becomes meaningless. Wondering how you come across to others after conversations ends. Shaping tone, posture, or words to maintain self-image dissolves. Movement flows whole without effort. Words arrive clean without rehearsal. Choices emerge without strategy, fear, or hidden agenda. Regret loses its aftertaste. Processing what happened becomes unnecessary. Mental analysis disappears because your system faced each moment undivided. Coherence infuses every dimension of life, bringing quiet competence to a body no longer wasting energy maintaining separation from experience. You rest when your body requests it, without negotiation or guilt. You eat what your tissues genuinely ask for, without meaning or shame laid onto appetite. You say no without justification. You say yes without reasons. Boundaries emerge from natural flow rather than protection. What fits in your field becomes immediately apparent without calculation. You neither push against the unwanted nor pull toward the desired. Your natural being flows with clarity, free from debate or second guessing. Relationships transform entirely when coherence becomes your baseline. Mirroring needs dissolve. Merging to feel complete ends. Fixing others to stabilize yourself stops. Absorbing others' emotions as your responsibility ceases. Managing interactions to avoid conflict disappears. Peacekeeping at truth's expense becomes impossible. Your presence naturally creates space around it, empty of everything that once contracted when others approached. Notice what happens when someone enters the room where you sit in coherence. Their energy neither disturbs nor activates yours. No subtle negotiation of space occurs. They simply appear, and your presence neither expands to accommodate nor contracts to protect. This is a relationship beyond the current of separate selves. Space already exists inherent in awareness itself, requiring no conscious holding. Energetic shielding becomes unnecessary when nothing in your field binding to drama or entangling with what is not yours. Teaching or guiding happens only when moments naturally open without manipulation. Words arise from quieter places than your thinking mind, from the coherence of the whole. You remain recognizably yourself without identity's weight, personality's hard edges, hidden agendas, or needs. Coherence brings no spectacle, draws no attention to itself. The absence of effort makes no grand announcement. The absence of identity glows with no spiritual significance. The absence of distortion feels like nothing in particular. Yet your body recognizes the difference. Your system knows. Life feels effortless because nothing inside you tries holding everything together through subtle management and control. Essential things begin falling from memory, emotional scorekeeping, inner mapping of hurts and oversights, calculations for perception management, safety maintenance, or usefulness to others. These preoccupations dissolve as the structure requiring them for maintenance simply falls away through disuse. You live beyond narrative maintenance, beyond compensation for old wounds, beyond building life around the past's weight. People around you may miss this profound change, or they may sense something different in your presence, an ease, a lightness, a space where they can rest without performing. Some will draw closer to this field of coherence. Others instinctively move away from what they cannot recognize. But you track neither response nor measure your aliveness by others' reactions. Coherence frees you from needing others' reflection to confirm your existence. You exist complete in yourself while connected to everything around you. life unfolds beyond the mind's organization or prediction capabilities. External circumstances may remain unchanged, but how circumstances move through you leaves no traces. Conventional measures of improvement, positivity, success, magnetism, spiritual awareness lose relevance because you have lost interest in arranging experience to confirm identity or curating reality to maintain self-image. Time loses significance in coherence. Movement towards some better future self disappears. Inner progress narratives dissolve. Peace requires no improvement. Tracking patterns, stories, or healed wounds ends. Structuring inner work around cycles or stages feels irrelevant. The very concept of layers dissolves as the structure requiring healing softens into natural coherence. Everything reorganizes itself toward the simplicity of being what you already are without distortion. Seeking beyond this moment ends. You recognize that nothing exists to seek beyond what is already here. Stillness reveals itself as being rather than a reward for spiritual practice. Presence unfolds naturally rather than awaiting arrival through effort. Healing stands as natural restoration and recalibration rather than spiritual evolution. The path folds into itself until walking becomes indistinguishable from being. Coherence brings unfiltered human experience. Life moves through you without separation structure, without the distortion of a separate self managing the flow. This natural coherence, always present beneath protection and identity layers, fulfills everything, complete unto itself. The body eventually stops seeking itself in mirrors, in others' responses, outcomes, even presence, qualities once deemed important. Hunger to feel certain ways, clear, aligned, grounded, awake, falls away as it loses relevance. Nothing stands outside your experience trying to shape it into meaning or spiritual significance. What happens simply is. It is complete in itself. Narrative explaining raw experience becomes unnecessary. Moments need no examination under light questioning truth or alignment with your path. Reality needs no proof through interpretation. The map fades alongside the one needing to measure their unfolding against ideals to feel safe in existence. This emptiness of self-reference brings fullness that concepts cannot capture. Fullness through tension's absence, strategy's absence, commentary's absence. It feels like your body remembers how to rest amid motion, like your soul no longer seeking reunion with something greater because separation never existed. You continue in ordinary life, yet nothing becomes identity. Nothing sticks as definition. The past loses its weight. Experience accumulation stops. Only openness, breath, and existence's natural flow, moving through form without resistance. Coherence brings living silence, a body clinging to nothing, neither time nor story nor self. And this silence lacks drama or the need for a special quality. It simply emerges when effort leaves the tissues, vigilance releases the system, and looping ceases in the mind. From silence, everything moves clearly with natural inevitability, like water flowing its course. Right action flows from coherence without analysis. Life simply unfolds from wholeness, no internal witness maintaining separation from what happens. Suffering still visits in coherence. Pain, grief, and loss still touch you. The full range of human experience remains available, yet no identity holds suffering as defining you. No self maintains pain's story as separate from life's flow. Suffering moves through like everything else, departing when complete, leaving no residue. When suffering lingers, it rests quietly until passing, held in the same spacious awareness holding joy and peace, neither rejected nor clung to as special. You no longer control the experience's structure or manage inner states. True freedom comes as you release the need to hold anything through effort. Life holds itself, organizing its own intelligence, including you in that larger movement without separation. Coherence means living without fragmentation, ending the need for managing and integrating parts. Your entire being moves as one pure note, without hierarchy or separation, without an observer standing apart from observation. Being simply expresses itself through form, through your particular creation of life. Once truly known as lived reality rather than concept, coherence allows no return to existence management. Your body recognizes fragmentation as neither natural nor safe. It refuses to clench against experience, to absorb and hold what should pass through, to endlessly rearrange and adjust internally just to find daily peace. This moment contains everything. Seeking ends here. Fixing what was never broken at core becomes meaningless. Your system continues adjusting, refining, adapting to new circumstances without conscious intervention, without your permission, protection, or management. The intelligence shaping stars into swirls and lungs into breath has always shaped your existence into its most natural expression. You have simply stopped resisting its rhythm through subtle effort to be someone in particular. This effortless coherence, your birthright, begins life as it was always meant to be, neither perfect nor transcendent, but simply real, simply true, simply what remains when nothing interferes with a natural holding of what you already are.